You're watching WCTV 23, Chesapeake.
Tell when the aliens were invading by the music and the flying saucers.
I saw a flying saucer.
Saucer? You mean the kind from up there?
Yeah, its counterpart.
The Kecoughtan Warriors from the Peninsula Galaxy won't arrive at Oscar Smith Stadium in a flying saucer tonight. They'll be winging in instead on a yellow school bus. The Warriors will have to execute every part of their defensive and offensive plans in order to beat the Hornets.
What plan will you follow now?
Plan 9.
Part of the Warriors' plan will be to neutralize the many offensive weapons of the Deep Creek Hornets. The primary concern of Kecoughtan will be number 44, Dion Dyer, who has amassed over 1,200 rushing yards.
Strong. You see? You see? You're stupid minds. Stupid. Stupid.
The Warriors do have the fact that they are completely unknown to the Hornets on their side.
It's the only way. These are the same men who have been so close so often. They must be halted before they can inform others about us.
Deep Creek will be mustering all its defenses against Kecoughtan, a team that used a fairly balanced attack to beat the Hampton Crabbers, a perpetual power in their own galaxy. Kecoughtan is coming off a successful season, and its offensive attack is just now coming together. If the Hornets play as well as they did last week against Western Branch, though, the Warriors are likely to be forced to retreat back to the other side of the massive void of the James River. Their war making over for this season. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 23 Sports Game of the Week. I'm Richie Babb here with Mickey Irving and Merlin Vaughn. Welcome also to the viewers seeing us for the first time on WHCS on the Peninsula. You guys over on the Peninsula are familiar with the Kecoughtan Warriors. Mickey, a little bit unknown, though, to the Deep Creek Hornets.
Yes, they are, but the Peninsula District always very powerful, and this is a team that defeated Hampton this year 12-8. The last two ball games, they've scored over 80 points, so they're able to move the ball up and down the field. But I've caught up with Coach Newsom and asked him what his major concerns were tonight before the Deep Creek game.
Oh, I think we need to keep the football. You know, Dyer's explosive. Not only can he get you 3 or 4, but he can go the distance and, you know, keep him contained. You know, they run the waggle out of that wing tee. So I think for, you know, time of possession is a key for us tonight.
Jermaine Merrow starts at quarterback. He'll throw and he likes to run the ball. He's actually had more rush attempts than the running backs.
One of Kecoughtan's claim to fame, Mickey, is the fact that they beat Hampton, of course, in week 1, 12-8. But that was when they had their primary 2 running backs, now 2 underclassmen. What can we look for from them tonight?
Well, they got a guy named Derek Quash, who's the leading runner on this team. They like to mix it up, but he'll get the ball a lot. He's an exciting guy. Not quite as good, I think, as Sharon Stith, but along those same lines.
We've seen him before, of course, Merlin, but our viewers on the Peninsula here for the first time, they might be excited to see the Deep Creek Hornets.
Hey, and you guys on the Peninsula, don't give the Hornets the respect they deserve. For 2 years, you've been saying that, hey, this is a fluke or something like that. Last year, Hampton victory left a bad taste in your mouth. This year's Hornets are just as good. Dion Dyer's the main man. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards this year, close to 1,300 yards. He's a go-to guy for Deep Creek. Last year, Coach Carter pulled a surprise. He lined up Dyer in the tailback position. Watch out for that tonight. They'll pound it at you. The philosophy for the postseason is that, hey, you line up your 11, we'll line up our 11, and we're going to run right at you. But Coach Carter said he's never faced a team as big as the Warriors, so that has him concerned.
Big, powerful team. Probably the biggest, strongest team we've faced this year, and that really kind of troubles me a little bit, the fact that they're so big and powerful. We've not faced a team quite like them yet, and we've just got to, you know, make sure that we can stand in there and play toe-to-toe with them. The caliber of football they play over on the Peninsula is more of a power game. And like I say, we've not seen a lot of that over here. It's usually a lot of finesse teams over here, so it just depends how we can handle their size and their power.
Even though there's a size advantage with the Warriors, they've never faced a guy that could pound as well as Dion Dyer.
I'll tell you what, Deep Creek last week against Western Branch blew them away, much to everybody's surprise. The Hornets played almost perfectly, Merlin. Can they continue to play at that level?
Well, Richie, this evolution took place about 2 years ago when Coach Carter got Coach Dukes in, and he also brought Jeff Beard over from Indian River. I think those two guys, those two coaches, have really worked on preparation, and the preparation for the defense is just awesome. The line works well, the secondary works well. Coach Cox is doing a great job in the secondary. So that, that joint effort has really made a big difference for the Hornets. Can they continue this? We'll have to see that tonight. I think they're physical enough and they're smart enough to play. They don't beat themselves on defense. Last week against Western Branch, of course, they picked off the pass down at the 19-yard line, and that was the end of the game. I mean, they basically dominated the game. They'll look for turnovers tonight, and if they do, they'll be well on their way to win the game tonight.
Well, the Warriors have landed. It's the War of the Worlds here at Oscar Smith Stadium. We'll be back to find out what happens after this.
If there's a boat out there and he's stranded, that's us. We're out there, we're doing the job.
This is the real thing.
Yeah, anyone can be this crazy.
Warriors earning their money today.
Now that's a resume.
Welcome to Oscar Smith High School. For the first round of the playoffs, the Kecoughtan Warriors and the undefeated Deep Creek Hornets on your 23 Sports Game of the Week. Mickey Irving and Richie Babb upstairs, Smacky Stats in the booth, Merlin Vaughn down on the sidelines as the Hornets look to make the run for the state title against the Kecoughtan Warriors. We'd like to welcome all our viewers from WHCS Channel 5 Warner Cable in Hampton to our Game of the Week. Kecoughtan coming in at 8-2. The Deep Creek Hornets at 10-0. Coach Kurt Newsom of the Warriors with a combined 77-35 record in 10 years of coaching. He's been at Kecoughtan for 9 years tonight. The main man for the Warriors will be Jermaine Marrow. Derek Quash was expected to start at one running back. He will play tonight. Jovan Quillen will be in his spot starting the ball game, and Carlton Morant in the backfield. Of course, for the Deep Creek Hornets, Dion Dyer and company. But take a look at this Kecoughtan schedule. First game of the season, a win against the Hampton Crabbers.
Yeah, big game for them at 12 against Hampton. Then they went on, of course, to lose to Phoebus, and they really would have had the season would have ended off really strong if they hadn't lost to Tab, actually the team that they lost to. And if they hadn't had that loss, really, they're shoo-in for the playoffs at 9-1 instead of having to wait to see if they made it later. And actually, that game against Hampton, it was 12-8 was the score of that game. Deep Creek coming in, Mickey, undefeated, beating everyone they played unquestionably. Probably the closest game they had besides the Churchland game was Oscar Smith, 28-12. Nobody scored in the second half. And then, look at that, their defense really turned it on. They're meshing here at the end of the season. 3 straight shutouts against Norcom, Great Bridge, and Western Branch.
Deep Creek Hornets, as we mentioned, will be led by big number 44, Dion Dyer, 6 foot, 240-pound senior, who was selected as the best fullback prospect on the East Coast at the Penn State Summer Football Camp this season. And another weapon in that backfield will be number 2, Angelo Sykes. He is a 5'6", 150-pound senior. Teray Frost has done an outstanding job for Coach Jerry Carter. And Arnie Powell at quarterback. Let's go down on the field for the coin flip.
Okay. All right. Hey, look. You the white, blue, okay? Hey, you guys are the captains of your team, right? So that means you're in control of the team on the field, right? Okay, right? Okay, good, clean, hard football, guys. We don't care how hard you play, just as long as clean, okay? All right, I'm counting on you guys to keep your team under control. Count on you guys to keep your team under control. We're in the playoffs, all right? So don't let any unsportsmanlike or personal fouls, mess y'all up, right? Right? Okay? That's y'all's job. We're happy if you need to. Okay? If you can't do it, we're happy, all right? Okay, and that's going to be 15, probably. All right? Okay, what we did was we flipped earlier, and you said you wanted tails, and you won, right? And you wanted to receive in the first half, and you said you're going to kick from the scoreboard, you're going to kick this way. Turn your back to the scoreboard, turn your backs around this way. We got white. Receiving. Hey, bring it in, guys. Hey, let's have fun, all right? Let's have fun.
Our referee tonight, Mike Mitchell, down on the field with a pregame pep talk to both squads. Big Dion Dyer will trot back to the sideline. Looking at total offense, Kecoughtan will start on offense, Rich.
They sure will, and they have a little bit more balanced attack than Deep Creek, but you notice they still rely primarily on the rush. Deep Creek coming in with 3,105 yards, and a lot of that coming from Dion Dyer with almost half of Deep Creek's rushing yardage. He has 1,269, 68 yards, something like that.
The Deep Creek defense have a lot of different players. They've done an outstanding job the last couple of ball games. Richard Rogers, Nick Cuffey, and Wingate, Peel, and Griffin across the front. Thomas and Parker, Verdi, Mack, and George Miller, who's had a great junior year. Henry Martin, Daryl Husky, Lamar Claiborne, and Teray Frost will be in the backfield. And number 1, Joe Verdi, the best kicker on the south side, ready to kick it away for the Deep Creek Hornets. From Oscar Smith High School, the 23 game of the week, the first round of the playoffs, the Hornets and the Warriors. A short kick from Verdi, fielded by one of the up men, looking for an opening across the 40. He breaks free almost to the 45. On the return, number 23, Keith Mann. Looking at that Warrior offense for Coach Kurt Newsom, Chris Watkins in there, Matt Hoser, Kevin Thacker, Danny Mincer, and Clint Melton. Richard Wright is also a wide out. And we said that Quinlan and Morant will be in the backfield behind the leader of this team, Jermaine Marrow.
Quinlan, Mickey, the only other player on this team besides Marrow, the usual quarterback, to have any passing yards. He's 1 of 4 for a touchdown, a 14-yard completion.
And the Hornets start in a hole now with a face masking penalty on the opening kickoff, and the Warriors will start with the ball in Hornet territory at the 42-yard line. Make that the 47. They run the veer, they give it to one of the up men, and he gets positive yardage. On the carry is number 2, that's Javon Quinlan.
Kecoughtan, Mickey, running the veer. Deep Creek hasn't seen a true veer this season. Nobody in the Southeastern District runs the veer. And the thing that we'll want to take a look at early is who controls the line of scrimmage, because really for both of these offenses, you have to have good line plan. You have to execute, and we'll see who's able to control that line early.
Marrow with a 2nd and 4. Quarterback sneak. He likes to run. He'll have the first down. Down to the 25-yard line are the Warriors. They're moving the football here in the early going. Marrow played defensive back last year, stepped in to play quarterback this year, replacing Doug Burt, who went on to play at Duke in the ACC. The Warriors have a first down. Ball at the 25-yard line, first possession of the night. No score in the ball game. Marrow hands this one to Derek Quash in the ball game, the junior. The offensive line doing a good job right now for the Warriors. Positive yardage, a gain of 5, 2nd down 5.
As we mentioned in the pregame, Mickey, neither Quash nor Morant were the original running backs of this team. Both of the original running backs injured in the Phoebus game, and then Quash, 96 attempts, 537 yards, 5.6 yards a carry. That's not a bad average. Quash and Morant in after the Phoebus game.
Morant on this carry runs into Andre Thomas, and then stepping up big, number 63, Nick Cuffey. And the Hornet defense buckles up there, the first negative yardage of the night for the Kecoughtan Warriors. Nick Cuffey finishes off the play, but Andre Thomas, the 5'11 senior, disrupts the play with the penetration there. 3rd down, and we'll call it 8 now from the 24-yard line. Throwing situation. Marrow has 7 touchdown passes on the season. Bootleg. Henry Martin forces him out of the pocket. Nick Cuffey comes up, and Marrow will run out of bounds after a loss of 2. While be behind the 27-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and long. Quick note that the Warriors do not have a field goal on the season.
Also might be good to note here, look at Jermaine Morrow. Not a bad passing quarterback, 40 of 80, 7 touchdowns, 824 yards. That's a lot of attempts and actually a lot of completions, 40 completions, 7 touchdowns. So he's not scoring a lot of touchdowns here, Mickey.
We just mentioned they do not have a field goal on the year, and it is indeed 4th down now, so they're going to have to go for it. A whistle now to stop play. We may have a Kecoughtan timeout. We do have a Kecoughtan timeout. Coach Newsom on 4th down sent the play in. Now they're going to think it over.
If Kecoughtan doesn't win tonight, they want to remember the name John Dukes, who is the defensive coach of Deep Creek. A very good defensive mind and very good at making adjustments, and we can see that that's already beginning to work.
And Merlin Vaughn is on a very happy Deep Creek side of the field. Let's go down to Merlin.
Guys, all this year, all you hear about is that the community is one of the big reasons that the Deep Creek Hornets are very successful. They are truly the 12th man when the Deep Creek Hornets go out on the field. Now, that extra adrenaline that they receive, they are able to overcome obstacles. We'll see if they're able to overcome Kecoughtan on this 4th down play. Back up top.
Thanks, Merle. It's going to be 4th down. Coach John Dukes, as Richie made a good point, making the defensive adjustments against the Warriors, but they're going to go for it here on 4th down and 11 from the 26-yard line of the Hornets. Hornets have only given up 18 points this season in the first quarter. Looking to keep the Warriors out of the end zone as Merrow lines up on the 4th down. 9:19 to go first quarter, no score. Merrow to throw, a quick opener, incomplete. Thrown to an open Richard Wright. Ball thrown behind Wright, however.
I tell you, Mickey, he would have completed that pass, but I don't think he'd have picked up many more yards. Well covered there on both sides by a pretty tight Deep Creek zone defense.
The Hornets trot out on offense. Well, they'll take over at their own 26. That offensive line of Will Rayner, Brian Davis, Tim Griffin, Nick Cuffey, Doug Norris, and George Mincy will lead the way for big number 44, Dion Dyer. Also in the backfield at a wing will be Terrence Mack and Teray Frost, number 19, to the near side. Teray Frost on the carry, gets a block from Dyer around the far side. Good for a positive gain across the 30-yard line, about the 31. Arnie Powell on the season, 26 of 65 for 511 yards. Peninsula fans will remember that last season Arnie Powell had his best night throwing the football against the Hampton Crabbers. He had 185 yards in the air, and going down is number 56, Aaron Wynn, offensive lineman for the Hornets. Checking in will be number 66, I think that's Kevin Parker.
Brian Wingate,
I'm sorry. But it looks like a leg injury to Aaron Wynn. Kevin Parker also plays in the offensive line.
I think that could be a cramp, Mickey. Deep Creek, Mickey, just making a big defensive stand. And let's look at points allowed between these two teams. Kecoughtan has allowed 120 points this season, and there have been a couple games that they gave up a lot for 120 points total because they had a couple big shutouts against Gloucester and Lafayette, averaging 12 points a game. Deep Creek only giving up 72 points on the season. That's 7.2 points per game. The argument might be made that Kecoughtan playing in a little bit tougher district, but if that's the case, it's not a much tougher district than the Southeastern.
In years past, it obviously was considered the premier district in the eastern region, but the Southeastern District is right up there now with the Peninsula District. Let's go down on the field.
Isn't that nice?
Happy birthday. Give them a wave there.
Yeah, hey, thanks, girls. Very nice. Thank you very much. No, I don't know.
Third down. This is Dion Dyer's first carry, and he'll get a first down for Richie Babb's birthday. Across the 35, almost to the 40, at the 39-yard line. Big Dion with a first down.
I don't know that that's a bad birthday gift to have the Deep Creek cheerleaders sing to you. That's a great birthday gift. I wish the aliens would bring my voice back, though. Dion Dyer, 1,289 yards, 156 rushes, 22 touchdowns.
The leading scorer in all of Tidewater.
8.3 yards per carry, too. That's not a bad average.
Out of the wing tee for Coach Jerry Carter. They move Mack to the near wing now. Angelo Sykes gets a great block from Deion Dyer and another great block from Nick Cuffey. But stepping up to make the defensive hit is number 18 of the Warriors, and that's Tony Britt.
I don't know that the best gift they gave me was not saying how old I am today. I think that's probably the best. Angelo Sykes, 100 rushes, 516 yards, only a couple touchdowns. But the important thing about Angelo Sykes is he's an added weapon in that Deep Creek offense, so that you can't just key on Deion and think that you've shut down the rushing game, because Angelo Sykes is a little dangerous runner back there who's very quick.
7:37 to go first quarter. Ball on the 44-yard line, a second down 4. Out of the wing tee, Sykes will come in motion. They'll give it to Deion up the middle. There's the spin move, and it'll take a couple of Warriors to bring him down after another first down, and it brings the Hornet crowd to their feet. A late flag in now. On the stop, Chris Watkins.
Deion Dyer down on the sidelines.
Dyer is shaken up. Take a look at the replay.
I'm not sure if he's injured or if he was upset.
There's the spin move. Jason Blunt got a hold of him there. I think something happened on the bottom of that pile. This penalty is going to be against the Hornets. It's going to be their second one of the night.
That's not very usual for the Hornets.
It is indeed against the Hornets. They'll back them up. It's going to be first down. And 25 now.
Alpha 41.
7:18 to go first quarter. No score. Hornets have the ball after stopping the Warriors after they penetrated down to the 26-yard line. Kendall Watson, the wide out split to the top of your screen. Mack sets up on a wing on the near side. Arnie Powell, here comes the inside handoff to Terrence Mack. He gets hit by the line of scrimmage in a short gain. On the tackle, Jose Negro.
Mickey, if you're going to run a play like that, you want to pick up more than 3 or 4 yards. Kecoughtan defense doing a nice job there, staying home and not being fooled. As number 1, it looks like for the Warriors, they're down. That's Jose Negro.
He made the stop, and I think he had injured a knee. And this will stop the clock with 6:46 to go first quarter.
Referee gave the signal.
Take a look at our state top 10. Deep Creek up on the top. EC Glass number 2. Green Run in at 4. Hampton at 5. Did get a vote for first place, however. And Patrick Henry Ashland, the defending state champs, at 9-1, coming in at number 9. The number 11 team in the state, Kecoughtan Warriors. Deep Creek still up at the top. Last week they were number 1 and remain there this week. Pretty convincing lead, 111-94.
Yeah. Got a good chance of seeing EC Glass again before it's over with. Provided, of course, they beat Kecoughtan.
6:34 to go, first quarter. Second down and 22 for the Hornets. Arnie Powell to throw, and a whistle's going to stop play, and I think this is going to be called an illegal motion. I'm not going to agree with it if it is.
Yeah. Hey, Mickey, do you agree with that?
No.
Hey, let's go. By the way, as Smacky Stats has pointed out, EC Glass not 10-0, they're 8-2, and had to forfeit a couple games as a result of, I'm not even sure, any illegal players.
So this will be the third penalty of the night against the Hornets. So we'll be back to about second down and 27 now.
He's taking his outside away to 7.
That's a 35th yard of penalty already for the Deep Creek Hornets. That's unusual, especially this early in the game, 35 yards.
They're only on average 4 penalties for 41 yards for the entire game. So they're way ahead of that right now. Hornets with a second down and 27 from the 38-yard line. Mack in motion, Arnie Powell to throw. Plenty of time, now he has to scramble. Arnie with some open field, a flag. Could be a hold against the Hornets. Arnie's 5 yards short of the original line of scrimmage, and the men in striped shirts have thrown another flag out here tonight. This will be a hold against the Hornets, and this will be their 4th penalty, and the Deep Creek coaching staff cannot believe it.
Can I ask you a question? Does anybody run the wing tee on the peninsula? Have these guys seen it before?
I don't think so. Coach Jeff Beard on the sideline shouting a little encouragement to one of the linemen, so maybe Coach Beard did see it.
Here's some interesting numbers, Mickey. Smacky Stats tells me Deep Creek has 45 yards in penalties, only 31 yards of offense.
With 5:58 to go first quarter. And it's going to be about 35 yards for a first down now. It is second down and 40. Second and 37. Angelo Sykes on the inside handoff. Hit by Dickerson. And I think the Hornet staff wanted a late hit there. Deion Dyer gets in and calms things down. This is a very big and very physical Kecoughtan team.
I think it's time for Deep Creek. They're doing a good job. The line's doing a good job of containing Kecoughtan to the inside. I think it's time to kick somebody around to the outside and see if they can't pick some yards up around one of the ends.
3rd and 32 for Arnie Powell, the junior quarterback.
In fact, what I'd like to see is maybe Dyer blocking for Sykes around the left end, or maybe even to the near side, to the short side of the field.
Could be a throwing situation, however, as we see Carlos Perry split to the far side of the field.
Could be. 3rd and 50. I think it is.
Matt goes out, and so does Perry. Perry is open, but they dump it to the tight end, Will Rayner. Will gets back to the original line of scrimmage and stepped out, where it's going to be now 4th down and 10. The first catch we can remember this season on 23 Sports that the big tight end Will Rayner has hauled in.
The Swamp Jank. Nobody on the peninsula probably seen anything like the Swamp Jank.
Watch big Will Rayner come out there, and Arnie Powell hit a wide open tight end.
If Rayner wasn't so big, I would say that he had snuck out there, but he's wide open. Does a nice job of going to the ball.
And he did step on the line.
So the line is not part of the field.
Okay. Out of play.
Okay.
Verdi to kick it away. Plenty of time. Verdi with a high kick. Dropped at the 5-yard line and picked up, and looking for some running room now is Javon Quinlan, and he's hit hard by special teams, and it could be a fumble. Let's see. Deion Dyer down on special teams to make the big hit, and there's the big fella.
Watch this. Deion Dyer's more pumped up than I've seen him all season. Watch this smashing hit he applies to this guy. He knocks him about 5 yards back from where he was. Watch. First of all, he has trouble holding on to it. That's scary. Watch this.
Uh-oh.
Boom.
Big Deion Dyer. Marrow on the veer. Reads it exceptionally well. Gets around the corner. Stepping up nicely is Kevin Parker. Let's go down on the Deep Creek sideline with Merlin Vaughn.
Thanks, guys. An injury report from the Hornets sideline. Lineman Aaron Wynn has sustained a possible torn meniscus, cartilage in his knee. They're going to reevaluate it. He might be able to return. They don't know. They have his parents down here on the sideline, so they're talking to them right now to see if he's going to be back in the game. Back upstairs.
Hornet fans on their feet now. 2nd down and 6 for Jermaine Marrow. Quick pass to a wide open receiver, complete, good for the first down. On the completion, Rashard Wright. He had 12 catches coming into this ballgame for 244 yards. That's the man that they went to on the first passing play. Marrow just got it a little bit behind him.
Nice coverage there from Teray Frost, Mickey. Did a nice job of being in the right place and coming in for the tackle. Deep Creek, I think, doesn't mind giving up some yardage, but they don't want to give up the big play, so they're in sort of that zone defense that they run. You open up some room in the middle between the line and the backs, but they're not going to give up a whole lot of big plays like that.
Marrow now with a first down at his own 40-yard line. On the veer, runs the option, cuts it back to the inside. Kevin Parker and George Miller there, along with Nick Cuffey. Marrow, as we mentioned in the pregame show, 118 rushing attempts coming into this ballgame for 459 yards, 8 rushing touchdowns.
Morrow, Mickey, 4 rushes, 13 yards. That's not too bad for a quarterback. Actually, you know, I talked to the guys at the Daily Press. I think it's pronounced Marrow. Yeah, Marrow. Okay.
We got it. 2nd down, 7. This is Morant. Runs into George Miller and Kevin Parker there. His forward progress should give him a gain of about a yard. And big Kevin Parker psyched up for the Hornets down there. Another throwing situation possibly for Marrow here. A 3rd down and 5. Coach John Dukes will set the defense now. Former Indian River High School head coach. The Deep Creek fans on their feet here on the near side. 3rd down and 5 from the 45-yard line. Wonder if this is going to be a delay of game. An official's timeout. An equipment problem for Carlton Moran. Big 3rd down 5 now. No score, 1:30 to go first quarter. Long count, trying to make the Hornets jump. They're going to run the option. Husky comes up and makes a huge turn in where Tavan Taylor's there on the stop along with George Miller and Kevin Parker again.
Nice adjustment here, Mickey, on the part of the Deep Creek defense. They get 3 or 4 guys in there, and you know, you would think they had seen the veer 2 or 3 times because they play the option very well here. Several guys, thanks to the original tackle there, to turn him inside and let some of the other Hornets get their hands on him.
Coach Lee Fowler once told us that nobody can coach against the option better than John Dukes, and maybe he's made some adjustments already. Teray Frost fields it at the 20, trying to get away from the Kecoughtan Warriors, but good downfield coverage, and on the stop, Jason Blunt.
A lot of credit there goes to the punter, Mickey. Nice kick, nice hang time, allowing the Kecoughtan special teams to get down the field.
Seconds to go first quarter, no score. The Hornets now have a 1st down at the 25-yard line. Might be another throwing situation as we see Carlos Perry sprints into the ball game. He'll be split to the far side. To the near side is Kendall Watson. No, they give it to the big man. Dyer running for the outside, puts his head down, delivers the blow. Gain of about 8 yards for Big Dion. On the stop, number 6, Jason Blunt.
The best thing about that play here, Mickey, is the stiff arm. He sticks out in number 6 chest here, who's right on him to start with. He just pushes him out of the way. Wasn't even really a threat. Turns it upfield, and thanks to that, he's able to pick up those 8 yards.
Lawrence Dickerson also in on the stop there. That'll be the end of the first quarter with no score. The Warriors threaten early. The Hornets yet to really get anything going offensively. But the Kecoughtan Warriors of Coach Kurt Newsom have an early drive down to the Deep Creek 26-yard line, and the defense turned it away. It's been a couple of punts for both teams. The Hornets yet to really get it rolling offensively. We could see a lot more of big number 44, Dion Dyer. Let's go down on the field now with Merlin Vaughn.
Thanks, guys. Earned win is done for tonight. I was talking to Dr. Sheldon Cohen. He said the injury is happening to his knee. There are 2 cushions on the knee. He has possibly damaged the outside cushion of his right knee. They said maybe a couple of weeks before they'll be able to know if he'll be able to play. So he's definitely out for the game and possibly out for the playoffs. Back upstairs.
Thanks, Merlin. Good work down on the sideline. The man in the purple jacket, Merlin Vaughn.
Yeah.
We'll have our first quarter Smacky stats up very soon. From Oscar Smith High School, we have no score. And there's the man out for the night, big Aaron Wynn, the 5'8", 200-pound senior with the injured knee. He'll be sorely missed on offense tonight for the Deep Creek Hornets. Coach Jerry Carter, been the head coach at Deep Creek since 1991, coming off the best year in the school's history last season at 13-1. Former head coach at Varana High School in the Richmond area. Hornets coming in at a perfect 10-0, facing a very good Kecoughtan team from the Peninsula District. 2nd down and 4 from the 34-yard line. Here comes the handoff to Angelo Seitz. I don't think he's going to have the first down. He'll be lucky to get back to the original line of scrimmage. And this team in white likes to hit. Pretty strong defensive unit out there for the Warriors coach Kurt Newsom. Some first quarter smacky stats.
Well, of course, the score tied at 0 still at the end of the first period. 45 rushing yards for Deep Creek, 24 for Kecoughtan, 18 passing yards to 23. Really not bad for Deep Creek. Sometimes they just get 23 yards in a game. That's 42 to 68 total yards. Look at all the penalties, though, for Deep Creek. 68 total yards, but 45 yards in penalties.
And another flag, and I think we're going to have a motion called against the
Hornets.
The Hornets. This will be their 5th penalty of the night if it is against the Hornets. As we mentioned, they only average 4 a game. Our referee tonight is Mike Mitchell.
Dead ball, encroachment, offense, 3rd down.
That one called against Brian Davis.
Come on, Jeff.
It's going to be 3rd down now and 7 from the 35-yard line. They'll go out of the big set now with Dion Dyer in the ball game at tailback with 2 big blockers in front. Dion doesn't get the ball on this one, however. That one goes to Henry Martin, and Henry lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. And Coach Carter not happy with the blocking down there by the Hornets right now. Punt team will have to come on, and it'll be up to Joe Verdi to pin the Warriors back around their own 30-yard line if he can boom one.
We're supposed to be back on the hip. Well, I was on the hip of the guard. I was right there on him.
Quillen will back away, and they will get a Deep Creek roll about to the 27-yard line, where the defense is going to have to do the job. The offense yet to get things going for the team in purple, and the Warriors look pretty impressive so far.
They really do, Mickey, especially their defense. I'm especially impressed with Kecoughtan's ability to not only muscle Deep Creek, but to read them. They are very savvy, very head smart, as well as tough and big, and they execute well.
Offensive line coach Jeff Beard now will talk it over with some of the offensive linemen. You see Big George Mincy down there, and of course, number 67, that's Doug Norris. Marrow with a 1st down at the 26-yard line. This one goes to Quash, who's able to get a couple of yards. Henry Martin and George Miller there. It's going to be 2nd down and long for the Warriors. They've scored 88 points in their last 2 ball games, has Kecoughtan. The Deep Creek defense throws the shutout in the first quarter. Gonna have to slow up this Warrior attack. 2nd down and 7 from the 29. Narrow wants to throw. Dumps it off to Morant. Did he hold on? Yes, he did. Henry Martin forces him out of bounds, but this is going to be close to a 1st down.
Good hands for Moran here, Mickey, to be able to hold on to this pass. He was bobbling, and the question might be asked if he had control when he went out of bounds. Maybe we can answer that question here. He does bobble it, but it looks like he has control by the time he goes out. You don't think so?
Looked like he was slipping out.
Oh.
They'll have to take a measurement. This, I believe, is going to be good for a 1st down for Kecoughtan. Of course, in week 1 of the 95 season, they defeated the Hampton Crabbers 12-8 in a rainstorm. And it is a 1st down. Quillen and Quash and Moran, a pretty nice-looking backfield for the Warriors.
And they're both underclassmen. You know, Kecoughtan's a young team too, Mickey. I think like only 6 seniors on the entire team.
They returned 6 starters this season. It was supposed to be a rebuilding year. It looked like they're doing a pretty good job so far. You have a sophomore and a junior and another sophomore doing the majority of the running. Mero, the quarterback, is a senior. Calls his own number. Brian Davis there on the stop. Let's make that Richard Rogers. He's wearing number 75 tonight.
Saw Henry Martin, number 34 of Deep Creek. Saw him, some of his family in the parking lot before the game. And they said, keep your eyes on Henry Martin, number 34.
We've been impressed with the way Henry's played this season. 2nd down and 7 with 8:37 to go in the first half. No score. 2nd and long. Arrow to throw again. The quick pass complete to Wright. Wright breaks free about to the 20-yard line before he's pulled down by Darrell Husky. They've thrown exclusively to Wright all game tonight, and he's been open.
Nice speed there from Darrell Husky, Mickey, and being able to catch him as he makes that reception. Number 9, Rashard Wright. Nice job of bringing the ball in, and he has nice acceleration, but Darrell Husky able to catch up with him there. That's a well-executed play.
8:16 to go first half. No score in the game. A first down at the 22-yard line for Kecoughtan.
Rashard Wright there able to break through that second line of Deep Creek zone is a reason he's able to pull that in, and they have to catch him from behind.
This is Quash on the carry on the left side. Gain of a couple of yards there. Should be inside the 20 now. Or it'll be 2nd down and 6. The Hornet defense has had to push back this Kecoughtan Warrior team once tonight. And they are getting close again. Second down and 6. Inside the 20. Here's the option. Nick Cuffey there. Nick Cuffey with an open field tackle there. Mero running that veer option. Cuffey got through there almost untouched. So it'll be 3rd down, and we'll call it 7 now at the 19-yard line. Very interested Deep Creek sideline right now. That's Jerry Carter, the closest coach, listening in to defensive coordinator John Dukes. As his defense now faces a 3rd down and 7 from the 19. Quash goes in motion. A delay of game against the Warriors. Thought that was a little quick.
Seemed like it to me. Merlin said earlier in the game was talking about the community support, and I can tell you the Deep Creek sideline over here is full. Absolutely full, and they're loud too.
Deep Creek fans cheer the penalty against the Warriors, their first of the night. Makes it a 3rd and 12 now. They've had success throwing the ball to Rashard Wright. He'll be one of the wideouts to the near side. And they want to throw. This one they tried to dump off to Morant coming out of the backfield. It's going to be 4th down and 12. And we mentioned they do not have a field goal on the season.
Nice coverage on Morant right there by the Hornets, Mickey. It looks like Deep Creek made a little defensive adjustment in the backfield after that Rashard Wright. They're playing the backs a little bit closer and a little bit tighter once they cross the line of scrimmage.
6:35 to go in the first half. It's 4th down and 12. Hornet defense looking to respond here now to the Warrior drive. They have one man covering 2 receivers on the near side. That's Teray Frost. Could be trouble for the Hornets, but they elect to go to the other side, and this ball aired out towards the end zone. It's a touchdown for Chris Watkins. Watkins goes up and makes the grab over Darrell Husky. The ball right on the money from Mero as he throws his 8th touchdown pass of the season.
Mero on the money here. Two Deep Creek guys down there. And looked almost like they were covering each other.
Chris Watkins hauls in the touchdown pass. That's his 7th touchdown of the season. Ball right on the money from Merrow. The Hornets trail by 6 with 6:30 to go. This one goes through to make it a 7-0 lead for the Kecoughtan Warriors.
A small crowd over on the Kecoughtan side, Mickey, but they're loud too.
And it must be a stunned Deep Creek crowd, but when you get to the playoffs, you can't keep giving teams scoring opportunities. The Deep Creek defense forced the Warriors into a 4th down, a throwing situation, and the ball right on the money from Merrow to Watkins. We thought they were going to come to the near side of the field where they had one defensive back covering 2 Kecoughtan receivers. But Merrow just dropped back and only looked at one man, and that was Watkins. And he lobbed the ball to the end zone, and Watkins ran under it. Merrow with over 1,200 yards total offense coming into this ball game. We mentioned him as a runner. But look good throwing the football there. He's had a pretty successful night going to Rashard Wright and then the touchdown strike to Chris Watkins. Terrence Mack will be deep for the Deep Creek Hornets. To kick it away will be Britt Cohen for the Warriors. Warriors not intimidated from this #1 ranking. Here's a high kick that Big Dion Dyer signals a fair catch for. We'll have to see that in some films because immediately Dyer signaled for the fair catch.
Kecoughtan tonight, Mickey, relying heavily on their passing. Generally, they're a little bit more oriented to the rush. Look at this, 69% on the ground, 31% in the air. Deep Creek, of course, heavily in favor of their rushing game, 84% of their offense. The point I want to make here, though, is that Kecoughtan has maybe seen something in the Deep Creek defense that makes them think they can pass more, and they have been successful tonight so far on the pass.
Hornets with a 1st down at the 32-yard line. This one goes to Terrence Mack coming to the near side, and this is a swarming, hard-hitting Kecoughtan Warrior defense. Number 81, the man who had the touchdown, Chris Watkins on the stop. Good size on Chris Watkins there.
That scoring drive for Kecoughtan, Mickey, to make it 7-0 took 3 minutes, 42 seconds, 8 plays, 74 yards they picked up. The keys were a Wright 38-yard reception and a Watkins 24-yard touchdown reception. That from Smacky Stats Incorporated.
2nd down and 9 from the 33-yard line. Terrence Mack moves to a wing. Arnie Powell with a long count. The bootleg he wants to throw. Carlos Perry is open, but he throws it to Big Dion. Dyer has the 1st down. He's hit hard at the 50-yard line. Probably the hardest hit of the season we've seen Big Dion take. It comes from number 11, Brian Hart. First catch we've seen this season for Big Dion.
Look at this pass. Dion doesn't have a lot of receptions this year, but he does get one right there. He's out there open. Nice coverage. He gets away from that guy. I don't know. I think that that's not so much of a hard hit as it is just in the right place on his head.
1st down now in Warrior territory at the 49. Arnie Powell to throw again. An open Mack. Ball slightly underthrown. That's going to be a completion and a loss of 2. Mack open over in the flat, ball underthrown. Terrence went down on a knee to get it. Might have been better if he dropped it.
Yeah, it might have been. How do you like this look from Deep Creek with the passing?
Passing game, Arnie Powell, we mentioned, had his best games throwing in the playoffs last season, where he led the Hornets down the field in the Hampton game. He threw for 185 yards against Hampton and 113 against EC Glass last season in the playoffs, but only 26 of 60. That's about 6 attempts a game coming into this ball game. 2nd down, 14 for the Hornets, a loss of 4 on that play. And they're going to throw again. Arnie Powell. Dyer's open again. Rayner had it in his hands and it slipped out. Good coverage. The ball hit him in the hands, and I think he tried to take a couple of steps.
I'm going to echo what you said right there, Mickey. I was talking about Kecoughtan's execution on defense before. They're doing a good job executing in the defensive backfield as well. Nice coverage here. You'll notice that it's almost a perfect cushion between the backs, the defensive backs and the receivers. There's Dyer, he has a guy next to him, and they're just in a perfect place right there. Of course, he's unable to hold on to the football anyway, as Rogers, so regardless of the coverage.
Lawrence Dickerson there with the good coverage. Third down, 14 from the 48. 4:31 to go in the half. Arnie Powell with plenty of time to throw. This one wobbles a little bit. He's going for Mack, and it's almost picked off by Merrow, and he cannot believe it. Notice the ball wobble a little bit on the pass thrown from Mack. All the other balls tonight from Powell have been on the money, and watch Merrow. He won't want to see this replay.
No, he won't. You'll also notice in the backfield here is number 32, Carlos Perry, who also had a possibility of catching this pass. He's right on the other side. A lot of guys with possibilities to catch the pass. Unfortunately, the guy in the best position was wearing a white jersey.
Quillen will be back at the 15-yard line. Joe Verdi with a spiral that Quillen should field at the 20, or is he going to stay away? He gets away from it. And Verdi with the backspin there will put a nice sand wedge in there. They'll start at the 23-yard line.
Tell you what, Deep Creek needs a score, Mickey. 4 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock in this half. Deep Creek has not trailed at the half all season.
The Warriors, as we just mentioned, obviously not intimidated by that #1 ranking in the state of the Deep Creek Hornets. And the Hornets are in for a battle here tonight. And hats off to Coach Kurt Newsom and the Warriors right now.
I never thought that this would turn into a game where two teams were exchanging pass for pass. 4 of 6 is Merrow for 88 yards.
They have a first down at the 24. This one goes to Quash. Positive yardage again as you see Andre Thomas come in on the stop along with Terrence Mack there. Teray Frost also around the ball. Carlton Morant, the sophomore, on the carry. 9 touchdowns on the season. Also can come out of the backfield and make a big catch. He has 2 touchdowns receiving this year. Warriors now facing a second down, and we'll call it 2. At the 31-yard line. Merrow gives this one to Quash. Quash is going to have the first down.
As Muddy Waters would say, actually the swamp jank on the sidelines, almost in the same shape as Muddy Waters. He could say he's got his mojo working, but it just don't work on you. Just not working on those Kecoughtan Warriors so far tonight. Up 7-0 with 3:02 to go in the half.
3:02 to go first half. The Hornets could trail for the first time after a half this season. Warriors able to move the football right now. Merrow with a first down at the 36. Wants to throw. And this one again is caught by Watkins, and he breaks free. Down to the 20-yard line. He's going to go in. No flags on the play. Touchdown. That's Stafford Brown. I thought it was Watkins, number 81, but it was number 82, Stafford Brown, the tight end, coming in and making the catch.
Tell you what, this Kecoughtan offense, Mickey, is very much alien to Deep Creek. They have not seen a team that can pass like this all season. Nobody in the Southeastern District passes like that. Beautiful execution, but you also got to give credit to number 82 there with the reception. He turns it up and is able to get away from a couple of blockers right there. Stafford Brown, nice job with the reception and the conversion of that reception into a touchdown.
Well, we do have a flag down on the play.
Offensive pass interference.
An obvious late flag. And Coach Newsom cannot believe it. There you see the flag on the far side. And he just cannot believe it.
I can't either.
I looked the field for flags and didn't see any initially. You have to give credit to number 82, Stafford Brown, who breaks a big hit in the defensive backfield and goes about 50 yards for a touchdown, and this is going to be called back. And what a huge break for Deep Creek and all of these Deep Creek fans.
I tell you what, Mickey, The Swamp Jenks mojo might not be working on Kecoughtan, but I think it's waking on the officials. Did you see
pass interference on the offense? Loss of down. Second down.
Let me
Also
ask you
loss
this.
of down.
Did you see any offensive pass interference? I'm not one to question officials.
I'm going to take the 5th there.
Far be it for me to question officials. It's not
2
my
minutes,
job.
30 seconds to go. A 7-point lead as now the whistle blows again.
As a matter of fact, the official would probably tell me if they thought they could see them play better from up here, they'd be up here. And I might recommend it. It's warm up here.
2:30 to go in the half. A 7-point lead for the Warriors. The touchdown taken off the board. There's some movement and a late flag. This play is going to come back. On the carry is Quash. He breaks free. Mack will force him out of bounds, but we have a illegal motion against the Warriors. And I don't think they see it on the far side. And this is really going to bother Coach Newsom. Take a look and see if we can pick up some pass interference now.
We got motion.
Well,
Mickey, there wasn't a defender within 20 feet of that. Much less any offensive guy to knock him out of the way. Unless there was some bumping going on before that happened, but nobody was even close. Where do these officials come from?
These are Peninsula District officials.
Illegal motion. Offense.
This was definitely an illegal motion, however.
Yeah, I will give him that.
But I don't know about taking the touchdown off the board there. According to the replay, it looked like a clean catch from Stafford Brown. He had to jump up to get it. Second down and 30 with 2:22 to go in the first half. Here comes the option, and Quash in trouble, reverses his field. Quash, the speedster, goes to the near side and runs into Terrence Mack. But he takes a play there where it didn't look like he would get anything and gains a couple of yards. Derek Quash.
Tell you what, Quash reverses his field here, Mickey, as you said. But give credit to Terrence Mack and some of the Deep Creek defenders who stayed home at least close enough to home so they could block that. You'll see Terrence Mack out here and some other guys that hadn't completely committed to the play going that way. But, you know, if they had committed a little bit more, then that play does pick up yardage.
1:40 to go first half. Hornets might want to think about taking some timeouts after this play. A 3rd down and long, 25 yards from the 20. Inside handoff, a huge hole for Morant. He breaks free. Morant in a foot race to the 30 to Ray Frost. Pulls him down, he fumbles. It's still a loose ball, and the Warriors, I think, are going to recover. It's still loose down there. Deep Creek comes up with it. Unbelievable with 1:17 to go in the first half. Give credit to Ray Frost to put the slap on the football there as Morant looked like he was going to go in for the touchdown.
Not many people in this situation are going to beat Ray Frost. Nice job there of getting away from that tackler. He does have nice acceleration. There's Ray Frost. He's going to catch him. How did I know that? He's going to catch him, reaches in for the ball. Beautiful job of knocking it away, and then everybody's just trying to get to it, I love plays like this. You can hear him grunting on the replay.
Kecoughtan had 3 chances to recover this ball.
Sure did. Deep Creek got there late even.
The Hornets are going to have to take a timeout with a minute remaining in the first half. An 84-yard rushing play, only to fumble at the end thanks to the swipe by Ray Frost. But give credit to the Warriors who almost scored twice on this last drive and come up with nothing. Final Southeastern District standings.
Deep Creek coming in undefeated, 10-0. Western Branch at 8-2. Indian River also 8-2. But you know what? Nothing against Indian River, but they did not beat a team with a winning record. It's almost like being in the Beach District. Churchland, Oscar Smith, Norcom, Great Bridge, and Wilson coming in 0-10. Not a good season for the Presidents. And the only reason I say it's like the B district is because they had 2 or 3 teams this year that were really good, and that was it.
1 minute to go in the first half. Mickey Irving and Richie Babb upstairs for the first round of the playoffs. Smacky Stats also in the booth. Merlin Vaughn down on the sidelines tonight. I'm sure will let us know what the coaching staffs are going to do. You know, against Indian River, Big Dion had a 99-yard run from deep in his own territory. Here he bounces off of 1 tackle. But the Kecoughtan defense strings it out nicely.
Not only is Kecoughtan executing well, Mickey, they're tough. They're hanging in there. They don't just let Dion run over them. Not that people have much choice, but a nice job. Nice mechanics on the tackles from Kecoughtan. There's not a lot of arm tackling going on down there with the Warriors.
32 seconds to go first quarter. Arnie Powell now to throw. He's going to air it out. He wants to go to Perry. Perry's going to have to come back to the ball, and he does. And he's stopped immediately by Dickerson, but the Hornets should call a quick timeout here with 24 seconds remaining.
Powell is really having a good game so far in the air. Carlos Perry, you're right, Mickey, does a nice job of coming back to it. Oh, offensive pass interference. Oh, no, sorry.
Merrow with good coverage here. The Hornets do take the timeout.
Arnie Powell, 4 completions for 73 yards now.
The Hornets
and he's 4 of 6 as well.
The Hornets have 1 timeout remaining. That one went to Perry. On the long bomb there from Arnie Powell. Joe Verdi limbering up the leg here on the sideline. They're about 1 good completion away from a field goal attempt.
Yeah.
Let's listen into the huddle now. We'd like to welcome all of our viewers over at WHCS Channel 5. Your 23 sports game of the week sees the Kecoughtan Warriors and Deep Creek Hornets in a good game. The Warriors with a 7-point lead with a score called back and almost another scoring play.
And you guys on the peninsula can see quality coverage right on into the winter sports season if you move to Chesapeake.
24 seconds to go first half. A 7-point lead for the Warriors, a first down from the 45-yard line. Arnie Powell with a pump fake. He steps up. Now he's going to have to run. Big Arnie, the 6'5 man, moves to the outside. Bounces off of another tackle, almost to the 35-yard line, down to 10 seconds remaining now in the first half. Arnie got out of bounds, and let's see exactly where they mark it.
You know, Arnie Powell really looks good when he really has to. Here he does a nice job. There's nobody really he can hit, at least that he can see. Not only does he have the head to keep running and pick up positive yardage, he also does everything he can to get out of bounds so they don't have to burn a timeout, and still the clock stops with 10 seconds.
10.7 seconds remain. It's a 7-point lead for the Warriors. It would be a huge emotional lift for the Hornets to get on the scoreboard here. Their best threat of the night so far. The ball's at the 46-yard line. Make that to 36. Under pressure. And a fumble. Loose ball down on the ground. And it's going to be a toss-up. Who has it? The Warriors recover. The man who made the great play was Kevin Thorne, who comes in and knocks the ball away from Arnie Powell. Watch number 89.
Sort of what happens here is what happened to Kecoughtan a few plays ago. Reach in, knock the ball out, and then a lot of people are struggling for it. Ends up in the hands of the Warriors, and they have time for maybe no plays.
That's it. The Hornets are shut out for the first half for the first time this season, and the Warriors take a 7-point lead into halftime. The first round of the playoffs, the Deep Creek Hornets failed to score in the first half, and the Kecoughtan Warriors get 1 touchdown, have another called back. We'll be back for second half action. Hold on, let's go down to the field quickly to Merlin Vaughn with Jerry Carter.
Okay, Coach, execution was the key in the first half, not executing the way you want them.
Well, that's the worst half of football we've played this year and probably in the last 2 or 3 years. We just were very lethargic, made a lot of mistakes. Hopefully we'll regroup. It was a mess. That was about it.
Okay, Coach, what you want in the second half?
Well, we just hope we won't make as many penalties and hope we'll get settled down.
Okay, Coach. See you in the second half. Okay, guys, you see the Deep Creek. Coach is going to try to settle them down, try to preach execution for the second half. Back up top.
Merlin Vaughn doing a great job down there on the sideline.
5 penalties for 50 yards. Big time hurt for Deep Creek. Also the turnover. But Deep Creek's going into the locker room right now, Mickey, behind for the first time this season.
Our score at the half, the Kecoughtan Warriors 7, the Deep Creek Hornets nothing. We'll be back right after this.
Listen to the heartbeat of the earth. All life depends on that beat. The earth has always provided for us. Today, as in the past, we must keep this heart strong. Give back to the earth. Call 1-800-THE-SOIL for your free action packet. Harmony, a partnership with a healthy land.
After one half of play, the Kecoughtan Warriors 7, Deep Creek Hornets nothing. And how about some first half smacky stats, which should show that the Warriors have been able to move the ball up and down the field pretty well. They had a touchdown called back and another possible score where they fumbled. Here's those first half smacky stats.
Well, at halftime, Mickey, the scores, Kecoughtan 7, Deep Creek 0. 131 yards rushing for Kecoughtan. Not too bad. 88 yards on the pass for a total of 219 yards. 137 total yards for Deep Creek. And look how many passing yards they've had. Probably the first time this season their passing yardage has lengthened their rushing yardage. 5 penalties for 50 yards, 1 turnover for each team. Neither one of them really particularly dangerous or particularly harmful to the team that made it. And there you have it, the score 7-0 at halftime.
Plays of the first half. The main play, Jermaine Merrow drops back and just airs it out, a lob pass, and watch the big man, Chris Watkins, run underneath and make the leaping grab for the touchdown between 2 Deep Creek defenders. Merrow wanted to strike again, drops straight back on the play action pass, looking for Stafford Brown. It floats a little bit. Brown with a nice leap. He's hit here by Teray Frost. Not enough, Teray. You got to hit him low. He's hit again by Chad Sorrell and breaks the tackle. He goes all the way for the touchdown, called back. A penalty, a pass interference penalty against the Warriors, negates the touchdown. Then late in the second quarter, Morant takes the ball on the left side, looks for the opening, gets hit here, and just breaks free. Colton Morant, he could go all the way, but no. Watch Teray Frost run into the picture here and make the Muhammad Ali punch right there to cause the fumble. Now it's a free-for-all. I think Richie Babb got his hand on this one for a while, including here Merlin Vaughn jumps in the pile. Everybody's down there. Watch the Warrior man push it away to try to push it to a teammate there, but Deep Creek recovers. They drive down the field. Arnie Powell drops back, but watch Kevin Thorne come in now, number 89, and strip the ball away from Arnie Powell right there. Oh, here, this is the Arnie Powell run. Big Arnie, 6'5", breaks it to the far side for Deep Creek's best possession of the night, one of their only scoring opportunities. Arnie here gets it about the 30-yard line before he's forced out of bounds. Here's the fumble. Watch Kevin Thorne now, number 89, come from the far side of the picture and knock the ball loose. It's a loose ball for quite a while. One of the Deep Creek linemen had a hand on it, but Kecoughtan recovered, and that was the end of the Deep Creek threat. It's a 7-point lead for the Kecoughtan Warriors, and a special welcome to WHCS Channel 5, Warner Cable in Hampton. Hope they're enjoying the 23 Sports Game of the Week. Purple Thunder sounds here. You hear the train horn in the background. Purple Thunder sounds, not a lot to cheer about for the Hornets so far.
Well, I'll tell you what, we haven't heard it very much, that's for sure. Something I should have mentioned, Smacky Stats guys from the first half who want to be at State College, Pennsylvania on Saturday. Quash had 30 yards for Kecoughtan in the first half. Moran had 83 yards, and Watkins had the touchdown reception. Deion Dyer of Deep Creek, 29 yards at halftime.
The Warriors.
That 29 yards, Mickey, does put Deion Dyer over 1,300 yards on the season.
Brett Cohen with another short kick, and the Warriors have a chance at this ball. A loose ball on the sideline, and the officials tell us that the Hornets are able to grab it. Successful short kick again, keeping the ball out of the hands of the dangerous backmen of the Hornets.
That's right.
That's why you get the big money.
What can I say?
Offensively for the Hornets, it should be big number 44, Deion Dyer in the backfield, along with Arnie Powell at quarterback, Angelo Sykes and Teray Frost. Terrence Mack also saw action in the first half. Carlos Perry will be one of the wideouts, along with Kendall Watson. An injury to Aaron Wynn, the lineman, he's out for the ball game. The big tight end, Will Rayner, had a catch. Brian Davis, Tim Griffin, Nick Cuffey, Doug Norris, George Mincy, and Brian Wingate. You see the majority of the action on the offensive front. Defensively for the Warriors, and they've played well, led by guys like Tony Britt and Jermaine Marrow. The defensive back quarterback has played well.
You know, Mickey, 11:39 on the clock. The clock was continuing to run while they were setting up, and I think the clock probably should have been stopped.
Officials will get this.
Set the clock to 11:58, please.
And they will, as you heard, reset.
In the huddle.
You will hear, as you heard, clock reset to 11:58.
Coach Jerry Carter wants the Hornets to line up and do it again. We're talking about that Warrior defense. Kevin Thorne, Adam Bradshaw, Danny Menser, Chris Watkins had a couple of big hits. Lawrence Dickerson has really impressed on the defensive coverage in the backfield. Marlon Hicks and Clint Melton, Jermaine Marrow we mentioned, Blunt, Negro, and Quillen. Negro was shaken up in the first half. We'll have to see if he's back in the ballgame. It's going to be a first down for the Hornets at the 35, and they give it to Angelo Sykes. A block from Dyer. But taking on the block is Blunt, and he's able to field that block and make the stop. And Sykes may have slipped down a little bit, but Blunt right there.
The block from Deion Dyer, just not enough. Number 6 still is able to get in there, but the main thing there is the fact that Sykes slipped.
Sykes coming into the ballgame with 516 yards rushing on the year. Second down and 12 now from the 36. Early going, third quarter, first possession of the second half. Deion Dyer goes behind Will Rayner, looking for a block now. The Hornet fans on their feet. Big Deion across midfield, down to the 35-yard line. The D-Train finally gets something to sound Purple Thunder about. Here's a look at the replay. The big man ready for second half action. Runs over Will Rayner there.
He sure does. There's a couple other guys right here that try to get a hold of him and just can't. That's classic Deion Dyer rushing right there. He's 4 for 29, or 4 tonight, 4 attempts, 29 yards for Deion Dyer.
Marrow, the quarterback defensive back, on the stop there. It's a first down at the 36-yard line for the Hornets. Deion Dyer again right up the middle, but that Warrior defense is there. Number 81, Chris Watkins, having a big ball game there on the stop.
On that last play, the one before that one, Deion Dyer, Mickey, takes the ball a little bit to the outside, and Deion Dyer needs to have a good game here. Traditionally, he's having a good game. Quash and Morant together, 125 combined yards in 8 games. Dyer, if you take away the 2 average games from him, he's at 1031, so that he plays 8 games, Quash and Morant. So you can see he really is overall putting a hurting on the combined rushing of the 2 guys from Kecoughtan.
61 yards rushing in this ball game for the D-Train. He blocks this time, and Angelo Sykes runs right into Danny Menser, and Menser there shows the good strength along with Kevin Thorne on the stop.
I think Deep Creek needs to learn, Mickey, they're not going to have much success running up the middle. They need to kick it to the outside. They were successful with Deion Dyer a few minutes ago. Almost every play they've run up the gut has been for nothing. They need to kick it to the outside. You know, if they even kick it out to tackle, instead of going off guard, they need to kick it out and try to get some of those yardage in the open field.
Third down and 5 from the 32-yard line. Arnie Powell to throw. Tries to set up, looking for a block. He's in big trouble, and a sack. Danny Menser again with a sack of Arnie Powell. goes back to midfield. The senior for the Warriors gets the sack, and the Hornets are going to have to send the most productive man of the night out on the field, and that's Joe Verdi with another punt attempt. Quillen will be deep, the sophomore, at the 10-yard line. What a big hit from Danny Menser. A high spiral. Quillen calls for the fair catch and fields it at the 10-yard line, where the Warriors will come out on offense with Jermaine Merrow. The senior quarterback leading the way, along with Quillen, the sophomore, Quash, the junior, and Morant, the sophomore, in the backfield. Let's listen in to Jeff Beard now.
That's number one. Number two is on the waggle. We want to get up in there and long that guy. You get in Arnie's lap, he can't throw because he can't throw over your head. Stay on your block a little longer. Okay?
First down from the 22-yard line for Kecoughtan. The defensive unit of the Hornets played the majority of the first half. Merrow is swarmed by that Hornet defense on this play as he took a step back and wanted to run. Andre Thomas on the stop.
Now that's more like the Deep Creek defense that we've seen.
Deep Creek defensive unit hasn't allowed 100 yards passing in the last 4 ball games. In the last 2 seasons, they've given up 72 and 70 points respectively. Second down and 10. Merrow to throw. Verdi had pressure. Now Merrow's going to run. Nick Cuffey strings it along. And that enables Terrence Mack to finish the play off, and a lot of east-west running there, but I think Merrow's going to get some positive yardage. There's Verdi as he turned the play to the inside. And Merrow now runs right into your living room. Watch Cuffey here slow him up long enough for Terrence Mack to come in and finish the play off. But a nice gain now. It's 3rd and 5 from the 17-yard line. Hornet defense needs a stop here to force the Warriors to punt. Deep Creek fans on their feet now. Warriors with a 7-point lead. 7:20 to go, 3rd quarter. Merrow to throw, knocked away by Devan Taylor. What a huge play, because Watkins had his hands out, ready to make the catch.
Taylor, nice job of coverage here. Again, a good Deep Creek defensive play. They seem to be beginning, at least. Of course, part of the reason is because he was so close to the line, but they're starting to cover the backs really closely now and sticking with them like their numbers.
Devan Taylor with a huge defensive stop there to get the hand up on the ball. Here are the Warriors to kick it away. And it's blocked. And the ball now will bound around inside the 40-yard line. Somebody got a hand on the football there. Could have been George Miller or Terrence Mack. Let's take a look and see who indeed did get a hand on it. It's George Miller. The momentum goes with the Warriors in the first half, and the Hornets trying to seize momentum in the second half will have a first down in Warrior territory.
Smacky Stats will correct me if I'm wrong, but this has got to be the best field position Deep Creek has started with all night. By far, I imagine.
7:01 to go, 3rd quarter. A 7-point lead for the team in white, the Kecoughtan Warriors. Angelo Sykes in motion. They give it to Dion, but there's that defense again. Chris Watkins again around the ball on defense.
Coach Newman over on the Kecoughtan side, Newsom rather. Coach Newsom really seeing something out there that he did not like. Was bounding up and down the sidelines trying to talk to the official. I'm not sure what it was, but they weren't listening because they were under the effect of the mojo.
2nd down and 5 at the Kecoughtan 30. This is Teray Frost with a couple of blockers in front. He looks to cut it back, but the pursuit of the Kecoughtan defense. Stops to Ray Frost.
To Ray Frost, a pretty quick running back. He gets a decent block from Dion, but that's about it. And we talked about line play earlier. Kecoughtan line play, Mickey, right at the moment, especially in the first half as well, a little bit superior.
Dickerson there on the stop. He's played an outstanding defensive game. Dyer made a great block, but Dickerson steps up and fills the hole. 5:23 to go third quarter. 3rd down 3. Huge play. They give it to Dyer. He breaks one tackle. I don't think he's going to get the first down. Coming through there untouched almost was Jose Negro to disrupt the whole play.
Good speed there, Mickey, from Jose Negro to get in there so quickly. I mean, it's almost like the ball snapped and there he is, which indicates that either he's sneaking through a hole that Deep Creek is opening up for the defense, or the Kecoughtan defensive line is pretty much doing what they want to do with the Deep Creek offensive line.
And the Deep Creek offense will go with that heavy set now with a big blocking back for Dion on a 4th down and 2 from the 28. They go with the big muscle set. You saw Arnie Powell hold up the muscle. And they'll just fake it. I thought they were going to give it to Dion. Powell's going to have to run. He has the first down. He's inside the 20. He's going to go in. Touchdown, Arnie Powell! What a gutsy call from the Hornet coaching staff. Everybody, including me, thought Dyer had the football.
Beautiful execution from Arnie Powell. Everybody is surprised, including number 89 for Kecoughtan. Arnie Powell does his own imitation here of Marrow and picking up the touchdown. Nice run from Arnie Powell. Nice execution in putting it on his hip and hiding it after the fake handoff to Dyer. Everybody expected Dyer to get the handoff.
Here's a flag now. If this is against the Warriors, it'll be interesting to see if the Hornets go for 2. Smacky Stats tells us that Arnie Powell on that play hit the ball on the hip, and our Peninsula fans will remember that looks a lot like a man named Ron Curry who plays quarterback for Hampton. 3:53 to go in the 3rd quarter. We have a penalty against
defense.
The Warriors. Do you go for 2 here now on the season? The Hornets have gone for 2 twice, and they were 1 of 2. No, they're going to give it to Joe Verdi, which will be almost automatic. High snap, Husky gets it down. Good penetration there by the Kecoughtan defense, but it's tied at 7 as Verdi got the kickoff quick.
Deep Creek sidelines, Mickey, making a lot of noise. I don't know if it's celebration or relief that at least now they have an opportunity. They're in the game. 7-7.
George Miller gets a hand on the punt after the defense makes the big stand. Let's not forget that, Hornet fans. It gave the Hornets the good field position. Joe Verdi will kick it away to Quillen with 3:53 to go, 3rd quarter. All tied up at 7 from Oscar Smith High School. Your Channel 23 Game of the Week. Mickey Irving and Richie Babb. Smacky Stats up in the booth. We'll have a report very soon from Merlin Vaughn down on the sideline. I'm sure the emotions are running a little higher now on the Deep Creek sideline, or are more in the positive sense.
Yes. The emotion was high as it was.
After this kick, we'll get our Smacky Stats scoring drive. Verdi to kick it to Quillen. Verdi lands it at the 10-yard line. Quillen with 5 blockers in front. The special teams cover, and the Kecoughtan Warriors will start for Coach Newsom at the 25-yard line. How about our Smacky Stats scoring drive?
Well, to tie things up at 7 for the Deep Creek Hornets took 3 minutes and 10 seconds, 4 plays to go 35 yards. The keys were practically, or partially, however you want to look at it, blocked punt, and then Powell had a 28-yard touchdown rush for the TD. And what made that play as much as a rush was the salad that given to Dion Dyer.
Marrow, he wants to run now. There's Verdi to turn it in, and there's Nick Cuffey to lay the helmet down on Jermaine Marrow. Nick Cuffey Coffey, number 63. Watch the big hit.
No question, he's going to keep it here. Marrow comes to the near side. Nothing doing.
3:02 to go now, third quarter. Tied up at 7, second down and 10 now. The defense doing the job. Coach John Dukes has turned it up a notch for the team in purple on defense. Out of that I formation will go the Warriors. This one goes to Quash. Cornelius Peel there says that's about far enough. Make that Carlton Moran on the carry, number 21. Cornelius Peel and Richard Rogers around the football, and Steve Verdi as well.
Let the Deep Creek offense score, Mickey, and the defense has a real shot of emotion in the arm. They are taking advantage of the momentum now that seems to be swinging in their favor a little bit.
Chris Watkins and Rashad Wright are guys you want to keep an eye out for right now in this throwing situation. And Marshall Haggard, the sophomore, will be split to the near side of the field. Marrow could look to throw here. He wants to go throw in the quick pass. Good defense so far. Now they air it out. Picked off by Terrence Mack. Hornets ball in Kecoughtan territory. I don't think that Marrow ever got a look at Terrence Mack.
Didn't know he was there, but there were several purple jerseys in the vicinity. You see Nick Cuffey right there with his arms up, blocking his view. Nick Cuffey's pretty tall, too. And give credit to Terrence Mack for stepping in and being in the right place at the right time.
Purple Thunder may start to sound again. The momentum right now definitely in favor of the #1 team in the state, the Deep Creek Hornets. But this Kecoughtan defense has played exceptionally well so far in this ball game. Angelo Sykes. He's hammered. Jermaine Marrow with a hard hit there, and that allowed Lawrence Dickerson to come up. Sykes hops up, and I tell you, they're starting to hit down there now. Down to 1:26 to go, third quarter. The third quarter flying by. We're tied up at 7. It's going to be second down and 7 from the 45. Swamp Jank down at the bottom of your picture there, trying to get this Deep Creek crowd worked up. Mack will move to a wing. Long count from Arnie Powell. They give it to Big Dion. Right there, defensively, Marlon Hicks.
I tell you what, I bet you Kecoughtan got some game films on Deep Creek from somewhere, because they've done a nice job of pretty much giving Dion Dyer his worst offensive performance of the season.
This is a Deep Creek squad that had scored in 9 consecutive quarters, and then they were shut out in the first half by this Kecoughtan defense.
Dyer tonight making 9 rushes, 70 yards. So not too bad still.
28 seconds to go, third quarter. I think they'll get this play off. It's a third down and 4 from the 38. Dyer, he has the first down. He breaks the tackle, tries to get it to the outside. Down to the 20. It takes 3 Warriors to bring him down. Dyer has turned it up now. He wants the football.
I tell you what, it's Ride 'em Cowboy as Dyer takes 3 guys with him. Watch this.
And Watkins is no small guy.
Number 1, number 2, number 3, and they just continue to ride him. He takes them, Mickey, a good 10 yards.
And Chris Watkins is a pretty large guy in his own right.
Yeah.
Down to 4 seconds to go now. I don't think they're going to get this play off before the third quarter will expire. That'll be the end of the third quarter, with our score tied at 7 and the Hornets threatening. Give this Deep Creek crowd something to cheer about. Merlin Vaughn down on the sideline told us earlier how much the community has backed this team, and they are here tonight to support their Deep Creek Hornets. The Warriors don't appear to be worn down. No. I think Deep Creek executing better.
Yes.
Defensively as well.
Defensively as well. Offensively, this now is a caliber of game that the whole game should have been, really, Mickey. Both teams executing now. Deep Creek executing as well as it's known to.
Terrence Mack steps up and gets the interception to make it now 8 games in a row in which the defense has picked off a pass. 10 of 11 games this season, the Deep Creek defensive backs have a pickoff.
You would think, Mickey, that Deep Creek would have had the shutout going at halftime. Deep Creek has 4 defensive shutouts this year against Wilson, Lake Taylor, Great Bridge, and believe it or not, Western Branch. Kecoughtan with 2, they had shutouts against Lafayette and Gloucester, the weaker sisters of that Peninsula District this season.
Kecoughtan Warriors allowing 12 points a ball game, so it's been a defensive game tonight.
It really has.
We'll get to our third quarter Smacky stats in just a minute. Down to the final 12 minutes to go here from Oscar Smith High School. Tied up at 7. The Hornets have the ball at the Kecoughtan 12-yard line with a first down. Dyer, Mack, and Seitz in the backfield. Max switches to the wing. They give it to Dion. He breaks through one tackle, puts his head down, he's inside the 4. Dion Dyer has turned it on now.
Well, you know, I think for the first half, and really for most of the third quarter, all the people on WHCS were saying, what is it with this Dion Dyer? You hear about Dion Dyer. Now they're starting to see the Dion Dyer that we've seen all season.
And he runs over a pretty good defender there in Lawrence Dickerson, who had a big first half, and the Hornet fans looking for the touchdown now.
Well, you know, nothing against the Kecoughtan defense, Mickey. They have executed beautifully tonight, I think to the surprise of the Deep Creek offense.
Now they go with the big set, the muscle set. And Dion will be the tailback. 2 blockers in front. Looking for the goal line. Down to the 1-yard line is Dion Dyer. It'll be a first down for Dion.
A first down for Dion. The first for him for tonight, I believe. No, he's had others. And there he just takes it in. He has the blockers in front of him.
You have to give it to Dion here. You have to give it to number 44 here if you're a Deep Creek fan. Then again, Arnie Powell could fake it and run it in again because everybody in the park thinks 44 is going to get it. First and goal. From the 1. Dion. Touchdown. Dion Dyer. Hornets take the lead. Take a look at this replay as he goes right behind big George Mincy there. Got a couple of blockers up front. Ride that D train as far as you can.
Yes, absolutely. Whenever I see something like that, I cannot help but think of Harry Van Arsdale, who coached for 2 or 3 years at Great Bridge. He used to always say, hey, you got to dance with what brung you.
Verdi for the extra point, and it's good. With 11:26 to play, it's a 14-7 lead. I think we're ready to go down on the sideline and talk to Merlin Vaughn.
Guys, if you're wondering how the Deep Creek offense is so successful right now, Coach Jeff Beard made some adjustments. The offside linebacker, whenever they would run plays, the weak side linebacker was making the plays. He told the linemen they have to get out there and cut off the weak side linebacker. They're doing that effectively. On defense, Coach Duke said, hey, what you got to do is keep low and keep the technique. They're doing that on defense as well, and Deep Creek has the momentum. Back up top.
Thanks to the man in purple down there, Merlin Vaughn, wandering the sideline. Our third quarter, Smacky stats hot off the presses.
At the end of the third quarter, score tied up at 7. Look, the interesting thing here is total yardage. 226 for Kecoughtan, 225 for the Hornets. Deep Creek not penalized nearly to the degree they were in the first half. 2 turnovers for Kecoughtan, 1 for Deep Creek.
Verdi with a low line drive kick. This one taken by the running back, Quash. He's stopped about at the 30. Take a look down here on the sideline now. Let's see. Hey, is that Philly?
I think that's Philly Fallion.
11:20 to go in the ball game. The Hornets with a 14-7.
I'm not sure about
14-7 lead.
Oh, they're killing it. Hey, 20 years ago. I wish I was as young as Philly.
Merrow to try to bring the Warriors back now with a first down. at the 27. They want to throw, and they want to go to right, and he has it for the first down.
But he pays for it. Terrence Mack all over him. What I meant to tell you, Mickey, the Smacky Stats guys as of the third quarter who think Notre Dame has yet to earn a spot in the Bowl Alliance. Morant, 85 yards as of the end of the third quarter. Dyer with 96, and he's picked up a few more since his fourth quarter started.
We'll get a look at our last scoring drive right after this play. It was good for a first down to Richard Wright. 10:41 to go on the ball game. Now the Warriors trying to get something started. They run the option to the far side. There's Cornelius Peele. Merrow may be shaken up. A huge hit from Peele as he just overpowered him on that play.
I tell you the truth, Mickey. I talk to Cornelius Peele about once a week, and he is the quietest, most unassuming kid. That was an animal right there. I'm not sure that's Cornelius Peele. That scoring drive for Deep Creek to put them up 14-7 took 2.5 minutes, 6 plays, 5 of them from Deion Dyer, 45 yards to Keys. Dyer had 26-yard rush and a 1-yard touchdown birthday cake. Oh, that's nice.
Second down, 10. Oh, almost a great play there from Carlton Morant. Never had his eye on the ball until the last second, and he tried to make a stab at it. Merrow got rid of it kind of quick, and Morant just threw the hand up.
Plus, he looked up and saw Henry Martin and said, oh, I don't know.
So now third down and 10 for Coach John Duke's defense. Ball at the 42-yard line after the big completion to Rashard Wright. And number 9, Rashard Wright, has had a pretty good ball game for Coach Newsom. Wright will come to the near side, and Derek Quash will come out on a flanker. On the 3rd and 10 from the 42. Merrow to throw. Screen pass complete to Watkins. Watkins with a couple blockers in front, but what a big hit from George Miller to knock him off his feet short of the first down.
That's a crush. Check out the George Miller hit here. Still, though, Kecoughtan giving Merrow time to throw. A nice execution there, the screen pass, their first one of the night. But watch this, bang!
And if Miller doesn't make that hit, that's probably a first down for Chris Watkins. He was starting to get the steam up. The Warriors are going to have to kick it away now to Ray Frost back at the 20. Might have a flag. No flag down. Henry Martin almost got a hand on that ball. He may have gotten a hand on it. No flag down. The Kecoughtan Warriors wanted the roughing the kicking penalty on Mike Walk. Tell you, Henry Martin got a great jump on that ball on special teams. Here's the replay.
Oh, yeah, awful close.
And he did catch him with the back leg there.
Yeah.
It could have went either way.
I think that's right. Good no call. Not many penalties called in the second half compared to the first.
8:25 to go in the ball game now. A 14-7 lead for the Hornets. Here comes Angelo Sykes. When Deion is more successful, that allows Sykes to be more successful. That's right. And he gets positive yardage there.
You know, Mickey, I think that it's a good thing there have been fewer penalties in the second half. I don't think the teams are playing any differently, but I have to say that I think the officials were too much of a factor in the first half.
A couple of big penalty calls. Of course, the touchdown called back against the Kecoughtan Warriors, or we'd be tied up right now. Second down and 7 from the 31. The Hornets shift now and go with Mack on a wing. Deion Dyer looking for some running room. Gets it to the outside. Oh, he's wrestled down. A big hit there from our man number 10. That's, of course, Dickerson, who's played outstanding defense tonight. He finally pulls down Big Deion. Watch him. He'll slow up here, looking for some running room. Then he gets it. Watch Dickerson step in.
Those coming your way. Yeah.
Dickerson, that's not a cheap hit. He's just trying to knock Deion down. The clock in the favor of the Hornets right now. 7:30 to go in the fourth quarter with a 7-point lead. That was good for a first down for Deion across the 40. They'll mark it at the 43-yard line. The D-train with another carry. Dyer Close to 8 yards there before Dickerson is around the football again, along with Chris Watkins. These two guys might be starting to wear out a little bit.
Yeah, they may be. There's Dyer again, just doing what he does best. I think I can.
Merrow also there. Merrow did the smart thing there, and he didn't try to tackle Dion up around the shoulder pads. He went low on Big Dion, and that slowed up Dyer.
Dyer, 14 rushes, 121 yards on the night.
2nd down and 1 from the 43-yard line. A 7-point lead for the Hornets, looking for the big first down here now. Ball at the 49-yard line of the Warriors. Mack is on a wing. Dion, the workhorse right now. Power against power. Forward progress should give him the first down. Negro and number 81, Chris Watkins on the stop. Depends on the spot here. I think it will be a first down. Dion, once he gets to shoulder squared, he's hard to stop. There's a nice hit defensively, head on head from Brian Hart. They're going to take a measurement here. I think Deep Creek's going to get the first down.
If they do, that'll be the 5th first down for Big Dion.
6:21 to go in the ball game. The Hornets trail for the first time this season at the half. They get the first down here. This is a good Kecoughtan football team.
It really is.
8-2 on the season. Coming in very well prepared for a Deep Creek team that was playing their best football of the season coming into the ball game. Coach Carter of the Hornets said wasn't pleased with the way they played in the first half. A little lackadaisical, lethargic, I think was the word he used.
Yeah.
First down from the 47. Arnie Powell will hand this one to Angelo Seitz. 2 blockers in front, but Negro comes in there and disrupts that whole play. He won't get credit for the tackle, but he just threw his body in front of the blockers there, and that stuffed the whole play. Jermaine Merrow on the stop.
I don't know what Jerry Carter and his coaching staff told the guys at halftime, but it seems to have been working. 16 rushes, 130 yards, and a touchdown for Dion. That's an 8.1 yard per carry average, and his average for the season is about 8.2.
Facing a 2nd down and 10 now. They may have to put it back in the hands of Big Dion Dyer. Over 1,200 yards rushing coming into the ballgame. Terrence Mack again will set up on the wing out of this Delaware wing tee. They'll give it to Seitz. Seitz with not a lot of help there, as is a great penetrating defense there led by Brian Hart again, who just shot through there. Boy, these guys are quick, big and quick.
They are. Now it's time, I think, Deep Creek could run that same play or fake that same play to the near side, give it to Dion to go around the other side in the same way they did with Sykes a little while ago, or actually they did with Powell when Powell kept the ball. They've run that same play enough here to sort of get into a rhythm.
3rd and 13. They may want to throw the football here as they go with Perry and Watson and Teray Frost in the ball game. Inside handoff to Ray Frost. Gets it back around the original line of scrimmage, close now down to the 41-yard line, where it's going to be 4th and we'll call it 3. This is going to be a tough call. Let's make it longer than that. They move it back some, and the officials are going to take a timeout.
I know that Teray Frost saw that block right there opening up that hole, but the whole far side of the field was opened up for him, Mickey. If he would have just kicked it out a little bit, I'm not sure that he could see that, though.
And we hate to say it, but Kevin Thorne's shaken up. He's played outstanding defense tonight. And it may be, I think this may just be a cramp injury. Looks like they're trying to stretch his leg muscle out. Let's go down on the field now with Merlin Vaughn.
Guys, we talk about the fans being the 12th man, but also there's this thunder wagon. It makes all this noise that pumps up the players. And here's the guy who operates it, Bob Scott. Bob, momentum swing in the second half.
Well, we certainly hope so. They're certainly getting themselves together, and they're doing a lot better than they did in the first half. This team from Kecoughtan's got some big boys out here too, though, and we just got to keep it going and try to get the fans pumped up as much as we can.
Hey, speaking about pumped up, there are some things coming up at Oscar Smith that get you pumped up.
Yes, sir. We have on December the 4th, we have the
the forum for all the candidates that want to participate in the Chesapeake School Board elections at 7:30 here at Oscar Smith, and we hope as many as the public as can come to see that and meet these candidates.
All right. Thanks so much there, Bob.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to go back upstairs for some more action.
Verdi kicks it away to Quillen, who calls for the fair catch inside the 20, so Verdi does his job. Now it's back on the defense to hold this Warrior team.
Yeah, this game really far from over, Mickey. It's only one touchdown separating the two teams. Still 4 minutes and 13 seconds on the clock.
We're ready for that interview. We're ready for that interview.
Jermaine Marrow, the senior quarterback, had a touchdown pass in the first half and had another one called back. He'll send number 81, Chris Watkins, out to the far side. Marrow to throw to Watkins, but this one is batted away from the gentle giant out there, Cornelius Peel.
6 feet 235 is Cornelius Peel.
And when he gets those big arms up there, close to about 6'6", that's what he did on that play. Well, probably more than 6'6", I would guess.
Yeah, I would guess.
I don't know. You think he can get him up that far? 4:10 to play in the ball game. Second down and 10 now from the 16-yard line of the Warriors. Long count from Marrow. He wants to throw again. Go with a draw play. But guess what? Cornelius Peel is there again, along with Nick Cuffey. And Cuffey has really turned it up. On that carry was Quash on the draw play.
This draw goes nowhere. Bang! Cornelius Peel. And it looks like Nick Cuffey all over him. Anticipated that play beautifully. Now it's third long.
And suddenly it's down to 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and now a third down and 15 from the 10-yard line. The dangerous Warriors to throw. They want to go to Watkins. Husky on coverage. He picks it off. Darrell Husky with running room down the far side. Cuts it back at the 20. Still on his feet, and he's knocked down after the pickoff. They wanted to go to Watkins, and Husky was there. Watch Husky. He had a bead on it the entire way.
Nice. You're right. It almost looks like a pass to him. Husky reels it in, turns it upfield, and actually on the return here, he gets a couple good blocks. But the sideline just gets packed up with people. He has to cut across the middle.
They go with the muscle set again. Dyer will be the tailback with the two blocking backs in front. Right immediately in front is Henry Martin. He leads the way for Big Dion. The D train nonstop down to about the 13-yard line.
I tell you what, the Kecoughtan Warriors better start warming up 2X2L. You know what that is?
What is that?
That's the name of the spaceship from War of the Worlds. He says 2X2L, 2X2L. They better start warming it up to cross that massive dark void of the James River.
The James River.
Go back across the James River.
Second down and 6 from the 14.
Without a win.
And Henry Martin shaken up will have to come out for one play. I think he's okay, because he'll come back in on the next play. They won't be able to run that heavy set, however. They'll send in Terrence Mack along with Angelo Sykes. The blocking back tonight, I believe, is Andre Thomas. Down to 2 minutes and 27 seconds remaining in the game. The Hornets could be facing a delay of game here. But don't you get a delay game. Don't forget Saturdays at 12, Sundays at 9, Mondays at 4:30, Thursday primetime 8 o'clock right here on 23. They get the play off and they give it to Dion. Dion down inside the 5. The Deep Creek fans on their feet, and here's why.
They're on because Dion Dyer gets a good block from Nick Cuffey right there. Makes a good block of his own. Takes 3 tackles to get him down. He's bad.
Deep Creek fans appear to be confident of a victory here. We hope all our fans over on the peninsula have enjoyed the broadcast here from 23 Sports. We're glad to bring it to you. The game of the week has been a good ball game. The Kecoughtan Warriors jump out to the lead and shut out the Hornets for the first half, but the Hornets have made some adjustments and able to do it here in the second half. Brian Wingate will be in on the big set now. He'll be one of the blocking backs along with Henry Martin and Deion Dyer. Will get the ball. Big Deion bulldozes his way in. Touchdown, Deion Dyer. That's Deep Creek football right there.
2x2L, 2x2L. Warm engines, warm engines.
1:46 to go in the ball game. And the Hornets now with the 2-touchdown lead over a very good Kecoughtan team.
I've been very impressed with the Warriors, Mickey.
But how can you not be impressed with the team in purple?
That's right. And, you know, I think Kecoughtan has not lost any intensity. I just think Deep Creek got their act together at halftime.
Verdi trying to go 3 of 3 now. He's connected coming into this game on 37 of 41. Make that 2 of 3 for the night. But it will be a 13-point lead, 20-7. Is our score with 1:46 to go. And Coach Carter has to be pleased that the Hornets come out and don't give their best effort in the first half, and they're going to escape the playoffs with a win here. Al McGuire once said if you're going to win the championship, you have to be lucky one game. I don't know if they were lucky, but they didn't really play as well as they could in the first half.
Well, the only way that I would say that they were lucky if they win 14-7, because it would have been a tie game if that fluke doesn't get called back down there in the end zone. But so, I mean, that's luck. But when you win 20-7, if that play's not called back, it's 20-14.
It's definitely not luck the way they've turned it on here in the second half and played much like they played last week against Western Branch.
Yeah, that's right. Very much that way.
Just dominating on both sides of the ball.
That scoring drive for Deep Creek to make it 20-7 took a minute 54. 3 Deion Dyer plays, 18 yards the key. Of course, the Husky interception, and Dyer's 2-yard blow out the candles. Touchdown.
Quillen around the goal line, looking for a slide opening, and he'll get it. He'll cross the 20, almost to the 25, with 1:41 to go in the ball game. Looks like the Hornets are going to advance in the playoffs, with a possible rematch in the making between the Hampton Craggers and Deep Creek Hornets. People claim possibly one of the best high school football games played in this area ever.
Yeah.
48-42 win last year for the Hornets on a last-second diving catch from D. Harrell in the end zone. The officials will wind the clock here with 1:37 to go in the ball game.
Keep him on, Creek! Keep him on, Creek!
Merrow to throw. Want to go to Watkins again. Oh, what a great one-handed grab from Chris Watkins. George Miller there to make the stop, but what a grab from Chris Watkins. Grabs it with one hand as he's falling away from the football.
That was nice, Mickey. It almost looked like that he grabbed the ball. Watch this right here. He grabs the ball and stands there for a minute, like he thinks he's out of bounds. And so the Deep Creek defenders are like, oh, okay, cool. So he grabs the ball, and you're not going to be able to see what happens.
That's Merlin Vaughn stepping in front of the camera, I believe. This one aired out for Haggard. Falls incomplete. Husky back there on coverage. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 49-yard line of the Hornets. Clock now reads 1:09.
Hey, playing loose! Playing loose!
And here the Deep Creek coaches on the sideline say to play loose. They're going to back up almost like a, well, exactly like a prevent defense here. Have a couple of guys back playing center field.
Get loose! Get loose!
Very much like the defense they were running at the beginning of the game.
Oh. Well, the Warriors were able to come out and do what they want to do. Of course, the penalties hurt the Hornets a lot in the early going. This one almost picked off by Henry Martin, and if he picks that off, let me tell you how open he was. I know I could run it in.
That's right. Hey, listen.
Smacky Stats isn't sure. Is that Purple Thunder? What is that?
That's 2X2L warming up out
there. That's what I figured. 1:05 to go in the ballgame. Mickey Irving and Richie Babb upstairs along with Smacky Stats. Merlin Vaughn on the sideline. Happy to bring you the game of the week. And it sees the Deep Creek Hornets with a 2-touchdown lead here from Oscar Smith with 1:05 remaining in the game. This one aired out. Husky has a beat on it along with Watkins, and there's a great defensive play. Husky able to jump up there and get a hand on the ball.
Going for the ball all the way right there was Husky. Jumps up and bats it away.
And of course, don't forget the Indian River Braves also in the playoffs playing Tallwood tonight. We would like to remind our 23 Sports fans to stay tuned as our crack reporter Terrell Ducree of 23 Sports will give us an update on what's happening over at Indian River Tallwood following the end of this ball game. Stay tuned to 23 Sports. Terrell Ducree will fill us in on what's happening over in the beach with Indian River and Tallwood in the Division 6 playoff race. This is the Division 5 race. A big 4th down here now. The Hornets can get it back. Merrow throws it incomplete. That one intended for Rashard Wright, who's upset, and he played a great ball game tonight, but the Hornets are going to get the ball back. With 55 seconds remaining, the Hornets are going to get it back. And
you know, Mickey, my comments about 2X2L really not meant in no mean way against the Kecoughtan Warriors. They played a great game.
Just going to come up a little short. They met a better football team tonight.
Yeah,
Deep Creek in the second half is the team that we've seen most of the season that can just dominate on both sides of the football.
That's right.
And give credit to the Hornet coaching staff. They obviously made some changes at halftime that led to this second half output. And you got to give credit to Coach Kurt Newsom, who came in here with a good game plan and executed it in the first half. Big Dion will just run to the right side. Now the clock will wind down under 50 seconds. And it's time to tabulate our MVP vote. Boy, this is going to be tough.
Oh, boy.
I think his first number starts with a 4 and his second number starts with a 4, so it could be Dion Dyer. Smacky Stats also votes for Dyer. So our 23 Sports player of the game is Arnie Powell takes a knee there. That should be the last play. Our player of the game, big number 44, Dion Dyer. And the Hornet Warriors, by the way, have no reason to hang their heads here tonight.
No, nice game, and you'll see some nice sportsmanship down there. These two teams played very hard against each other. Good sportsmanship to go down there and congratulate each other. The Deep Creek Hornets come away with a victory tonight. In some ways lucky that there weren't more points on the board. Not lucky, but able to play at least to a level so they don't get run over in the first half. They can sort of gather their thoughts and get together at halftime and are able to come back out and get some points on the board.
Merlin Vaughn down on the field looking for some post-game interviews. And again, we'll mention our player of the game, Big Dion Dyer. Daryl Husky also had a good game defensively with a pickoff along with George Miller. Cornelius Peel played well defensively. Arnie Powell did the job tonight.
Yes, he did.
So it was a total effort out there for Coach Jerry Carter, and that's what it had to be against a tough Kecoughtan team.
As a matter of fact, if you think about it, if not for Arnie Powell's execution of the fake handoff and his 28-yard rush that gets the touchdown going, right before halftime, score's a little different.
And it looks like Merlin Vaughn is about to gather up a host of Deep Creek Hornets led by Arnie Powell, and I think we'll hear from big number 44, the D-Train, Dion Dyer as well. And I think he has the senior Kendall Watson down there as well. Let's get ready now. Terrence Mack looks like he's over there. Let's go down on the field.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with some of the stars of the game. First offensive leader, Arnie Powell. Arnie, slow start in the first half.
Yeah, you know, we came out real slow. But when we went in the locker room, we got fired up, came out ready to play. Coach told us we got to do what we got to do, so, you know, that's what we did.
You did a lot of running, a lot more running than we've seen you do in the first part of the season.
Coach said he was going to let me run a little bit, so, you know, I did what I had to do, just like he told me to do.
You found out a lot of teams key on Dion. It opens up the running game for you.
Yeah, it opens it up a lot. It opens it up for everybody, not just me, you know, Angelo, Terrence, people like that, you know, Teray. you know, when they get the ball, they do what they got to do all the time.
All right, thanks a bunch, Arnie. Good game. All right, also, we got my man Husky here. Now, you're victimized in the first half, but you came back in the second half and you had a couple of picks.
Yeah, I got burned on one play. It was just a bad play. I misjudged the ball, and they got fortunate enough and they caught the ball. So, I mean, I knew they were coming back on the second half with the same play, and they did. And I was fortunate enough, and Guy was with me. I took the pick.
Speak about Coach Stooks. He really keeps you guys in the ball game, keeps your head in the ball game, and makes the adjustments for you.
Yeah, he keeps us real focused, and that's really the key to football is concentration and good focus. And just we came through. We came through.
All right, man. Hey, good game for you. All right, and Dion, the Diesel man. Dion, a slow start, but you guys got going in the second half.
Yeah, the first half was like a nightmare. You know, they did a real good job of getting us out of our game plan and getting us out of our game. So in halftime, we realized we came too far for this. And we said we're going to get our minds together, we're going to get straight, and we'll come out and go toe-to-toe with them.
What about the community? That's like the 12th man to you guys. You know, big crowd tonight supporting you guys, filled up the whole stadium tonight on the home team side.
Yeah, they really do support us, and as long as they support us, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. They're letting them support us.
All right. Hey, guys, you hear it. Deep Creek in the house. Ball game, 20-7, going back up top to Mickey and Richie.
Thanks, Merlin.
Was that Don Cornelius down there?
I don't know. Let me tell you something.
In the house.
You know who we did not mention picked up to play in the second half, and that was the offensive line of Deep Creek. They started executing much better, as did the defensive unit. Over at Princess Anne, Tallwood taking on Indian River in the Division 6 playoff. Our Division 6 correspondent, Terrence Ducree, is there and gives us this report.
Thanks, Richie. We're here at Princess Anne Stadium, where the Braves of Indian River have traveled to the beach to take on the Tallwood Lions in a Division 6 showdown. Both teams have come into this contest with an 8-2 record. Tallwood looks to come right at the Braves with their high-powered offense, but Indian River, led by James Boyd and the experience of the tough Southeastern District, have other plans in mind. At the half, Indian River leads Tallwood 7-0. The Indian River defense have held the Lions to only 39 total yards, while the Braves, who started out slow, have managed to put some positive yards in the books. The Braves started the first quarter with little intensity and struggled offensively with miscues and near turnovers. The Indian River defense held the Lions to 39 total yards at the half and only allowed 52 additional yards in the second half. 3 Indian River defenders had interceptions, including James Boyd, who was superb on both sides of the ball. Boyd was 4 of 9 for 103 yards passing and 1 touchdown, as well as rushing for 81 yards on 6 carries. 73 of those 81 yards came on a quarterback keeper that made the score 13-0. The second half was all Indian River, as Boyd and company dominated the Tallwood defense with fly patterns and inside runs that ran this line team down. Corey Holly had 7 rushes for 46 yards, but the man of the hour was James Boyd, who scored from 73 yards as well as 8 yards out on 2 possessions. Indian River turned the ball over once, while Tallwood coughed it up 3 times in their 27-0 loss at the hands of the Indian River Braves. Last week, the Braves defeated the Tigers. This week, it was the Lions. I'm not sure if there are any Bears in the playoff picture, but if so, they will have to brawl with the Braves. For WCTV 23 Sports, I'm Terrell Dupree.
Back at Oscar Smith High School, the Deep Creek Hornets a 20-7 winner over the Kecoughtan Warriors. Kecoughtan takes the early lead. The Hornets come back with 20 points in the second half. The Smacky Stats final stats should prove that the Hornets do it on the ground and in the air tonight.
They sure do. 20-7 the final score. 205 rushing yards for the Hornets, 73 passing yards, and most of those passing yards, interestingly enough, in the first half when their running game was not going anywhere. In fact, all those passing yards coming in the first half when their running game was really going nowhere. 278 total yards. The total yards pretty even. 44 penalties, 27 yards for Kecoughtan, 5 penalties for 50 yards, almost all those in the first half. In fact, all of those in the first half, and they were able to stop making those mistakes in the second half. 3 turnovers for Kecoughtan, 1 turnover for the Deep Creek Hornets. And one of the things that made a difference here, Mickey, was the ability to pass.
Daryl Husky on defensive coverage. Merrow had a big first half throwing a touchdown pass, which Husky told us after the game he was burned on. But here he steps up and makes no. This is Terrence Mack who makes the grab. Husky also back on coverage, but Terrence Mack breaks up the drive there and allows the Hornets to go on and take the lead. The Deep Creek Hornets next week will play Hampton or Granby, and the region finals could be a rematch of the shootout last year, a 48-42 win for the Deep Creek Hornets over the Hampton Crabbers, and it'll be right here on 23 Sports.
Thanks to all the guys in the truck, Smacky Stats, and the viewers at WHCS in Hampton, Channel 5 on Warner Cable. We'd like to thank them for being with us tonight. Thanks for all our usual Chesapeake viewers. See you again soon.
Our score, the Deep Creek Hornets 20, Kecoughtan Warriors 7.